Welcome back, welcome back. So just recently, I think I kind of made an observation about myself because last night I ended up meeting two women, young women, made a video about it already. And just thinking, sound the horns, about like the communication and like I reflect on myself after I do things. I think about how I look, what I must have looked like, and I realize now I always we know, but you don't see it as much as what other people do because you just present yourself to be who you are. You're not looking at it, for whatever. So I just realized I present myself like a younger man, like when I speak, my energy, the laughter and the hey, you know what I mean? And that's why most young people respond to me. That's why I can talk to any young person, doesn't matter what age it is, because I never forgot what it's like. I never forgot what it was like to have someone, when you're a child, you don't have authority, you know what I mean? So you always have this whatever. And when you are hurt, trauma and all this, bad parents or whatever, everyone knows there's a certain way to raise your children, right? Now, they're not going to come out perfect, but they should have certain levels of maturity, right? And if you teach them right, as they grow into adult and enact the maturity, they will grow. You know what I mean? Some people, you may not, but the world judges you like, oh, you need to grow up. And I'll be looking at people like, yo, bro, you see what I show you. If I show you my other side, you'll realize I'm way more mature. Like, I realize I have the feel and the outgo bringing or whatever as like a young man. Everyone thinks I'm young and shit until I start speaking. Once I start speaking, motherfuckers be looking at me like, yo, this is a smart ass dude. And I realize that's why they think I'm smart, because they think I'm one of them. They think I'm young. Another motherfucking two more people think, you 20 shit, you 30, you 32. I say, I wish. I wish. And it let me know that I need to work on that side of myself, because sound the horns, the outside is always never what's inside. Like, I realize because I look a certain way, you have to be judged a certain way. Because I speak and sound a certain way, people judge it. And that's okay. And I just realized though, it's like what I was teaching my first pupil. Like, bro, you got heart. You got that young man heart. Like, you want to see everybody happy. You're willing to make yourself look like a fucking jackass just so everyone could laugh and have it something, And I said that's people will say you're immature, but it's really well, maybe it's, I don't know. But what I realized, like, a lot of people lose this side of themselves, and that's why you become grumpy ass adults. I couldn't understand why my enemies hate me so much, or why anybody would hate me, because you got forced to grow up and lose that side of yourself. You don't know that, like, a kid gets up and they're fucking happy to get up. They want to see everything. They're like, what's that? What's this? When you're a child, you always want to learn. When you're an adult, you get beat in your head to think your ass knows shit already. And I realized how I be breaching the gap. And I used to try to fight against it, and you know what I mean, try to present myself a certain way and talk a certain way with my elegance and my intelligence. And how you doing? And did it, you know? And I realized, that's good, but that only works for these adult children. You know, all you adults that don't really know shit, that works on you. It makes you think I'm official, you know? But the book, the reality of the world, all know to protect the young, the children, the youth. You talk to the teenagers, the young adults, because, you know, so they don't go down the same road. And I realize youth are diving into the wrong way because adults, you cannot connect to them. They don't want to fucking hear that shit. They don't believe you no more. Because everything you say about the world, when they go in the world, when they look online in the world, all the shit you say, that shit ain't real no more. We thinking these kids are so young and stupid. Nah, they are young and stupid, but think about when you were young. You couldn't learn anything in the world. You didn't know shit about the other side of the world. You didn't know shit about countries and nothing. You only know what popped up on the news every now and again, you know? Now we have Instagram and all these things, so automatically children get to see the broad world, the adult shit, the real shit going on, whether they want to or not, you know? And I realized, or at least I'm coming to believe, like that's why the Lord made me hold on to that. That's why the Lord made me understand the scripture when it says, be humble as a child. If you want to follow the Lord, you have to be like a child. And most people will never do that because we get so fucking taught about, oh, you gotta be an adult, that when you say you gotta have the heart of a child, you think you gotta be young-minded or stupid. No, you have to want to learn. Adults don't want to learn. They think they got fucking taught everything. Duh. So when your ass start learning new information, you feel fucking stupid. And then you want to have this cognitive dissonance and shit. You want to believe because majority of the world says this shit is real. You want to run with that because just like the majority of the world, you were told. You never looked it up. You never nothing. And that's why you believe that shit. And if your belief isn't true, then you never stood in reality. And that's a fucking hard thing to deal with. That means you're like a baby again. You know? When you were taught a faith, right? And then you realize majority of the shit they were teaching you was only a little bit. And then, hey, how you doing? Hola, ¿cómo está? And, you know, like a lot of the Jesus stuff that I be talking about, just the skin color, just who the people are. That shit alone is the most stupidest thing not to know or accept when the shit's written in the book. When the book keeps saying the Negroes, and he had bronze skin. For everyone to really say, I love the Son of God, and then I want to put a picture up of somebody that does not look like what it describes. That's self-denial. That means if I can convince you of what you believe in is the creator of your life, motherfucker, then I can tell you whatever I want. Because you're too stupid to read it yourself. Because someone made you like that. You can read, you can understand, but because they told you. And I realize why I get blocked so much now. I see how dangerous I really am. Because knowledge, you know, influence. If you have an influence on adults and children, you're a deadly motherfucker. You're a problem. That's why I always try to stay small, because I've always known shit like that. You know? It's just like with the Malcolm X thing, when, you know, he's like a super gangster. He was a real nigga. You know? And he changed his life. And when they brought him in, he was able to change people that were like him. Criminals. People that were lost. Didn't hear these things. And that's why he was so important to the movement. You know, because, like, that's who you want to target. The people that are, you know, you want to change them. So that's what made Malcolm X what he was. That's why everybody loved him. Not because he was the end result. It's because we know his beginning. We know he was one of us. Lost. Told. Get it? And then, when you get that other information, like it says, the Bible says when you actually understand the wisdom of the Lord, you transform. You are born again. If you get born again, you know, you're not going to go in your mom's and then come back out. No, it means you stop being, thinking, and doing the things you used to do. So who you used to be is dead. Now that you start living in the truth or living in I'm going to learn, you automatically are you're old, you got to learn it all, you got to learn shit again. So you're a baby mentally and spiritually. And I realize, like I said, when I come off, I present the heart of a child to people because that's why people feel energy. That's why they feel like, that's why I can talk to anybody anytime I want. That's why I could literally preach to people that literally say the Bible's bullshit, and I hit them with a couple of scripts and all these things, and they're like, whoa, that's the shit that I be thinking. I'm like, yeah, no, because that's what's in there. The shit you hate about it is what people told you. That's what you hate about it. Because you're like, that shit is not fair. It don't make sense. So, I realized, because I got reborn again and actually learned the Lord's knowledge and everything, I go in with the heart of a child, but then when I start speaking the wisdom and the grown-up who I really am, I'm an old man, I should be a grandfather right now, bro. Get it? Back in the day when you were like 40, 45, you already had children. You're about to become a fucking grandfather. Your child will be like 18, 20, 25 by now. Get it? I'd be a grandfather right now. Not somebody's daddy, I would be a grandfather if things were the way it used to be. And I have the wisdom of a grown-ass grandfather. But I still have my kinks, you know? You know? There's things that I do immature or whatever, and I hold myself accountable, but I also know that if I let go of these things, then I become like yous. I start feeding into the I'm grown and I'm this and that. And like I said, I see all you motherfuckers that pretend you're grown and I'm a business this. Y'all niggas hate y'all life. Y'all hate everything about fucking life. The only way you'll feel good is to shame another person and say, yeah, I'm better than them and shit, and stunt, you know what I mean? You're not like kids. You hate other motherfuckers. You can't stand when somebody else does better than you. Kids don't give a fuck. When you're a kid, you want to see everybody do good, you know? Sound the horns. I wonder why the world sucks so much, because everybody think they grown as fuck, but won't do nothing grown. People will say, I'm grown, but won't help your own community. How the fuck you a grown up and you really believe you're not supposed to help your own community? And then when the shit falls to shit, you're blaming the kids. Talking about, I don't understand why these young adults are shooting and killing each other and hurting us old people. Because you didn't do your fucking job, dummy. You thought school was going to teach them. No, school's there to teach them math, how to read. They don't teach you how to fucking become a critical thinking adult. That ain't their job. That's your job. You're their fucking parent. A lot of people send their kid to school and really believe in your head that they're teaching us maturity and how to make fucking decisions. And no, they teach you how to do a job, how to sit the fuck down and get ready to go work and listen to other people. They teach you the basics so you can become an adult, but maturity, wisdom, they're not allowed to teach that because that comes with your faith and what you believe in. And they're not allowed to do that. You know, like how they took Bible out of school and shit, you're not allowed to teach the faith. So why the fuck children don't know nothing about the Bible, but all their adults swear to God, Lord Jesus, your kid don't know the Bible because you don't know the Bible. And when they said, we ain't gonna teach y'all no more, it's up to you now. And since nobody reads it themselves, they can't teach it. You feel stupid when your kids start asking you questions and you can't. And then you say, go to Pastor Pork Chop. And Pastor Pork Chop, he barely knows what the fuck he's talking about. Because a lot of these niggas are they're not real pastors, bro. They got paid. You know what I'm saying? And it's really just, what the fuck is that? Oh, that's a radio. I'm like, anyway, learn to, like, for my people that want to change yourself, or, you know, I realize videotaping yourself and watching yourself and expressing yourself regardless if you're right or wrong. You know, I have a lot of videos where I'm blacking out and letting out all my anger, and I'm saying things that may not particularly be 100% true, but I don't give a fuck. You know, why am I not allowed to be wrong? Why am I not allowed to express my anger? Like I was talking about these young girls I met yesterday, and this fucking young girl said, yeah, man, I don't remember how I got brought up, but she was like, yeah, man, I don't really like the dynamic of when I realized that white men make black men look angry and aggressive all the time. Yous are not. Yous are the nicest fucking people in the world, some of yous. Some of yous are wild, but, like, she was like, I've lived it, because she just not from the city. And she's talking about how she feels safe in New York, and other people that live there like, it's not safe here, and she's like, yes it is, like it is for me, you know. And I said, yeah, because you don't tempt the devil. You know not to be around certain shit, so you don't have to worry about the danger. The people that are telling you it's dangerous is because they fuck around with the dangerous people. They still chill with them, they still around shit. That's why they say it's dangerous, because they wear the bullshit going on. You know? And just to see a young woman like that, see the one of the biggest tricks they have played to keep people to dislike men like me, or when I express my feelings, now he's a crazy guy, he's a crazy black man, he's gonna lose it. No, I'm just gonna get angry like yous do and express y'all feelings, and then everybody says, we need to listen to that person, they're angry for a reason. You know? Like I explained to her, I said, thank you for acknowledging that, especially when you're so young. I said, because they'll teach you that I'm a wild animal and just say it, right? And then get their nightsticks out and beat me like what a beast would do to another animal. But then say he's a beast and that's why I gotta beat him like a fucking caveman. That's why I gotta take his rights away from him, handcuff him, and I'm gonna beat his ass up. And everyone's gonna think he's the beast. When I unfairly have an advantage, he can't defend himself. I'm gonna sick my dog on him. We gonna do all these things to y'all, and then we gonna convince the people that you're crazy, and that's why we gotta do you like that. But then I watch you handle your own. Like so many black men got put down for, he's aggressive, and then there's so many videotapes of your own with guns pointed at you like, I'll shoot you, cop. You come close, I'll shoot you. And they don't do nothing to that man. They end up fucking talking that man down. Spend 4 hours talking this man down. A black man doesn't have a gun. They think he might have a gun. He's saying, oh, my hands, I don't want to do nothing. I watched a black man that had his hands up sitting on the floor get shot by a cop. Because he thought he was scared for his life. I said, but y'all wasn't scared when that white man had an automatic rifle and saying, I'm about to mow you niggas down. You fucking... And I said, yo, bro, The Lord is going to have a field day with some of you people, bro. He's going to have a field day with people. Like, a lot of people, like, we live in a world now, like a lot of people, like, I remember when I started thinking about this, like, yo, there's so many sick motherfuckers. There's so many people that got good-ass jobs, and they die real fucking early and tragically. There's a lot of, and because you think they're good people, but they're not. They're not. That's why they get these weird-ass diseases. That's why these niggas be getting cancers and they can't cure it. That's why. Because you don't know their past. You don't know what the fuck they was doing in their life. You know what they showed you and told you. The Lord knows what everyone's doing. And when he judges your ass and motherfuckers is looking around here, oh, my baby got hit by a car, and it's for a reason. Not everybody. Not everybody. You know what I mean? Some bad people do bad things to good people. But like I said, I know I'm witnessing it now with all my enemies. Everyone in this town thinks all my enemies, always keep talking about how all my enemies are good people and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, so why they keep getting fucked up? Why is it that before they got fucked up, I have videos saying you're fucking with a holy man of God and your punishment is your motherfucking life. He gonna get you sick, he gonna do what you do to me, and then your ass gonna know. Ain't no takebacks. Everybody gonna know you a bad person. Cause why the fuck everybody say I'm a bad person? I'm a this, and he a witch, he a warlock, he a devil worshiper. Well, how come the fuck the Lord of the universe ain't, you know, I'm doing all these spell works and all this shit, but I'm the one not hurt, I'm the one not getting sick? Y'all good God that y'all believe in? Then he's super pussy and he's scared of me or something, right? Nah, that shit don't make no sense, dog. Maybe it's because it's just like what the Bible said over and over about, I'm going to send one guy into a big-ass town full of people, and they're going to call him the fucking bad guy. And then everyone's going to know he's not more powerful than you. The thing behind him is more powerful than you. And that's why your asses is dying. That's why your town's fucked up. That's why shit is happening. Because you think you're good. And you're going to be judged. Because you let people tell you. And since you won't be good, since you won't, you know, the Lord gonna the Lord gonna do a lot of things. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work off my break, you know, go back in. Anyway, I heard some news. I was watching some news this morning, and the tariff war and shit is getting out of hand. And supposedly, in the next couple of weeks, a lot of goods from China won't be coming here. So, I suggest people start stocking up on, you know, like the guy said, whatever items you be getting that come from China, you better go buy it now, because in the next 3 months, you ain't never going to be able to buy that shit until they get this negotiation thing back in. So, you know, a lot of products is going to be off the shelves, you know. I don't want to scare anybody like it's about to be a really super bad thing. But, yeah, it is going to be on the level of the people that like conveniences and those things. Now, I don't know how long this shit's going to last, but to me, it's already set in motion. So I suggest people get ready for a little, you know, little setback. You know what I mean? Stock up on your toilet paper or extra waters. Get your little king. Like, I know me. Since I see sales going on, I'm about to go unload. When I get paid, I'm about to start stacking up on canned goods and certain things that last a couple of months. So if the shits go off the shelf and certain things, I could still be eating these things. And, you know, I'm sure other people will start making negotiations with America, or maybe we may start making our own products again. I know Trump was talking a lot about that, so maybe it's a good thing. Maybe that, you know, sometimes you got to go through the storm to get where you want to get, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this shit is bad and it's good or whatever. No, things are happening, you know? And people need to prepare for a little setback in life, because not only did they say if there's no shipments, then that means, why do I need you to be at the dock? to unload things. I don't. So massive people will be getting laid off there. And then if all the goods ain't there, well, I don't need to keep having all these employees because the people ain't going to be able to pay me so I could pay them. So people in food stores will be getting fired soon. You get it? Like a lot of things are connected to port. A lot of different jobs, and it's not just the port people, duh. So, and when I seen these things, I said, damn, bro, like, it's already hard enough out here, man. And then they talking about shit going to cost a little bit more. I'm like, shit already costs too much. I don't know what. Hopefully this ain't what it is. Or maybe it's not as bad as they are talking. But, when I watch these things like that, I don't go on some YouTube channel or some goofy shit. I watch what these official people say. I don't care about no regular YouTube and what they thinking. I want to listen to what the presidents and their committees and all of them, what they say, and then think, all right, that I don't want to be a misinformer or a scare tactic guy and none of that. No. This shit is on the news for a reason, you know what I mean? So people can have knowledge and be aware of the changes that may or may not come. So, get right with your people. It's a lot of homeless and a lot of vagabonds out here, get it? So they get affected by these things too. Because the less a working man and a good man has, the less he can give to these people. So that means eventually they're not going to... You going to crawl up and die on the curb because nobody going to help you? No. You going to go in that fucking store and start stealing shit. So, if you own a store, I don't know. Be safe. All love, all praise to the Most High.